Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, the House of Cards is officially collapsing. Democrats are entering a state of full-blown panic as the USAID money laundering racket is coming to an end. And of course, as it usually goes with things like this, when you open up the can of worms, it always ends up being a whole lot worse than you initially expected. And that's exactly what's going on here with the USAID scandal. Elon Musk, of course, is uncovering all kinds of wasteful spending, what appears to be totally unjustified corrupt money laundering, but that appears to just really scratch the surface here, as a new USAID scandal is now being blown wide open, as investigative journalist Michael Shellenberger uncovers some very suspicious details that he believes proves that the USAID department was at the center of the attempted shadow coup against President Donald Trump during his first term in office. Yup, you heard that right. I guess USAID isn't just engaging in coups and regime change abroad. Supposedly, they were engaging in the same behaviors domestically. Let me show you guys the latest scandal that's brewing here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so let's first start off by piggybacking off of this clip from Michael Shellenberger, where he basically breaks it all down. Take a look.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Shellenberger for Public. The House of Representatives impeached President Donald Trump in December 2019 after a White House whistleblower went public with evidence that Trump had abused his powers by withholding military aid to Ukraine in order to dig up dirt on his rival Joe Biden. In the complaint, the whistleblower claimed to have heard from White House staff that Trump had, on a phone call, directed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to work with his personal attorney at the time, Rudy Giuliani, to investigate Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. The whistleblower who triggered the impeachment was a CIA analyst who was first brought into the White House by the Obama administration. Reporting by Dropsite News last year revealed that the CIA analyst had relied on reporting by a supposedly independent investigative news organization called the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, or the OCCRP, which appears to have effectively operated as an arm of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, which President Trump has just shut down. The CIA whistleblower complaint cited a long report by OCCRP 4 times. The OCCRP report alleged that 2 Soviet-born Florida businessmen were key hidden actors behind a plan by Trump to investigate the Bidens. Those 2 businessmen connected Giuliani to 2 former Ukrainian prosecutors, according to OCCRP. The OCCRP story was crucial to the House Democrats' impeachment claim, which is that Trump dispatched Giuliani as part of a coordinated effort to pressure a foreign country to interfere in the 2020 presidential election. NDR had initiated and carried out the investigation with a French investigative news organization called Mediapart, an Italian news group called Il Fatto Quotidiano, Reporters United in Greece, and Dropsite News in the United States. However, according to a Mediapart story published the same day as the Dropsite News article, NDR censored the broadcast after U.S. journalist Drew Sullivan, the co-founder and head of OCCRP, placed pressure on the NDR management and made false accusations against the broadcaster's own journalists who had been involved in the project. OCCRP does not operate like a normal investigative journalism organization in that its goals appear to include interfering in foreign political matters, including foreign elections, that are aimed at regime change.
You know, the Democrats are always talking about election interference, right? Election interference. Well, forget Russia. This is it. What's being alleged is a full-scale CIA-backed operation to remove a lawfully elected president using taxpayer-funded agencies. The whistleblower who triggered all of those investigations and the impeachment hoaxes wasn't just a brave patriot standing up for the rule of law. No, this was a deep state puppet, a CIA asset, with direct ties to USAID, who was handpicked to kick off the next phase of the anti-Trump coup in December of 2019. In other words, more proof that all of it was a deep state plot from the start. They didn't just happen to stumble upon a whistleblower who had information about Donald Trump's Ukraine call. No, they were clearly monitoring him, spying on him, and waiting for any excuse that they could use to launch their attack. And of course, when they couldn't find one, they simply had to twist and manufacture one. In other words, the entire Ukraine impeachment was a fabricated lie from the start, orchestrated by the deep state, pushed by the DNC, and propped up by their corrupt media puppets. And of course, 10 years ago, this would have been a bombshell. But at this point, I don't even think people are that surprised because it's basically the exact same thing that they did with the FISA scandal. Remember when they used their own fabricated fake news dossier to obtain illegal wiretaps on the Trump campaign? Yeah, it's pretty much a pattern of behavior. The DNC and Hillary Clinton's campaign commissioned the Steele dossier, which was a dossier that contained totally fabricated allegations. They then leaked it to their friends in the media who ran wall-to-wall coverage. And then it came full circle as they took those same fake media reports back to the FISA court and said, look, Donald Trump has ties to the Russians. We need to spy on his campaign. And the court rubber stamped it. We're talking about actual coup attempts on a sitting president of the United States, and this is coming from the Democrats who are constantly going on about mud democracy, trying to label Donald Trump as a villain who doesn't accept election results and tried to overturn the results of the 2020 election, but that's the exact type of behavior that they themselves have been engaging in. I mean, the corruption, the rot clearly goes so deep, and now we have all these Democrats throwing a damn tantrum, a damn hissy fit, as if there's no justification for what Donald Trump is doing in his purge of these agencies. But obviously it's justified. Obviously there is extremely deep corruption, a group of unelected, deep status bureaucrats who the Democrats seem to be weaponizing against Donald Trump or really anybody who gets in their way. It kind of reminds me of that Chuck Schumer clip from not so long ago.
But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know, but from what I am told, they are very upset with how he has treated them and talked about them. And we need the intelligence community. We don't know what's going on. Look at the Russian hacking.
You take on the intelligence community and they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. I guess he was really saying the quiet part out loud now, wasn't he? Turns out that wasn't a metaphor, it wasn't a warning, it was a threat. Chuck Schumer and his DC cartel knew exactly what was going to happen. All this talk of election interference, the Russians, the Russians, the Russians. All this talk of democracy, democracy this, democracy that. Says the key architects, the key engineers of these actual un-American, undemocratic coup attempts. I'd say it's unbelievable, but nowadays, it's pretty much par for the course. We've seen it. And again, that's why this is happening. Because people have seen how deep the rot truly goes. This isn't just political corruption or bureaucratic incompetence anymore. This is a full-blown, unelected shadow government working against the people of the United States, using your money, your agencies, to maintain their death grip on power. Again, possibly one of the biggest scandals of the decade that I'm sure the mainstream media is very conveniently gonna somehow miss. Whoops, I wonder why that is. Well, thankfully times are changing, and nowadays, we are the media, and we're not shoving this one under a rug. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.